Hi my dear students, today I am here with the new topic Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. Medical Termination of Pregnancy, you can also write it as MTP Act. So to understand MTP, we will first understand what is abortion. Abortion is termination of products of conception before 28 weeks of gestation. So, if you see here, what is induction of abortion? Deliberate termination of pregnancy before the viability of fetus. It is called induction of abortion. So, anything before 28 weeks of pregnancy, it is called abortion. Until the MTP Act was passed in India, it was like punishable under Indian law. But once the MTP Act has passed, there are few provisions under it or indication under which you can conduct medical termination of pregnancy. So, you should keep in mind that under MTP Act there is provision for imprisonment, say up to 7 years, even 10 years as well. Earlier it was just 2 years. Abortion which is induced can be of two types. One is legal and another is illegal. So, to recap what we have studied till now, deliberate termination of pregnancy before the viability of fetus, it is called abortion, and there is a law to guide it, that is called MTP Act. And here there is provision to punish up to 10 years plus there can be fine. Abortion which is induced can be of two types. They are legal and illegal. Now let's get into the details of MTP Act. MTP Act was passed in India in the year 1971. As you can see here, it is passed in the year 1971, which was enforced in the year 1972, and provisions were revised in the year 1975. So, it was legalized in the year 1971, it was enforced in the year 1972, and it was revised in the year 1975. So, why you need this? This is to bring down the illegal abortion. So, there is a public health issue which needs priority and it is addressed through this law. Now, let us see what are the aims of MTP Act. So, here are few aims. As you can see here, it improves the maternal health scenario by preventing large number of unsafe abortions. It brings down the maternal morbidity as well as mortality. So, obviously we can bring down the maternal mortality rate. Then it is going to legalize the abortion services, because of which we can bring down illegal or criminal abortions. Then it promotes the access to safe abortion. Okay, so it promotes the access to safe abortion. It decriminalizes the abortion seeker. So you should remember that it decriminalizes the abortion seeker. Last but not the least, it offers protection to medical practitioners who otherwise would be penalized. So it is not just helpful for the betterment of the mother and child, but also it's useful for those people who conduct it, because if this is not guided by the law, they can be penalized. So to recall, the aims include, first and foremost, it will bring down the maternal mortality and maternal morbidity. So it brings down the maternal mortality rate. Second thing is that it is going to legalize all the abortions. Third thing is that It promotes access to safe abortion. Then, fourth, decriminalizes the abortion seeker. Then, lastly, it offers protection to those who conduct it, otherwise who would be penalized. So, it provides offer to, I would write it here as RMPs, that is Registered Medical Practitioners as said by MTP Act. Now, let us see what is its legal framework. So, MTP Act has got three important underlying things. So, in MTP you have MTP Act, MTP rules and MTP regulations. MTP Act, MTP rules and MTP regulations. Now, let us see here what is this MTP Act. See, it lays down when and where pregnancies can be terminated. Mean to tell, what are the indications and where can you do it, place where the MTP can be done. And it grants the central government power to make rules and the state government power to frame the regulations. So, that is about MTP Act. Now, let us see what is there in MTP rules. It lays down who can terminate the pregnancy, what are their training requirements and what is the approval process for place, etc. So, rules will tell you who can do it, where can you do it and when can it be done. Last but not the least, MTP regulations. It lays down the forms of opinion, maintenance of records of MTPs done and custody of forms and reporting of cases. So, regulation is basically the maintenance of records and custody of forms and reporting the cases. Rule says who, when and where the MTP can be done. And Act will tell you where the pregnancy can be terminated and what is the role of state and central government in this MTP Act. Now, let us see what is legal abortion. Okay, abortions are termed legal only when they meet the following conditions. Number 1, termination should be done by medical practitioner approved by the Act. Termination should be done at the place approved by the Act. Termination done for condition and with the gestation prescribed by the Act and other requirements and rules as compiled by the MTP Act. So, where, when and how it should be done is given in the Act. Only if according to that abortion is done, then only we call it as legal abortion. Then, please see here, when can pregnancies be terminated? You can terminate it up to the certain weeks of gestation, that is 20 weeks of gestation, only when the woman gives you consent to conduct the abortion and with the opinion of a registered medical practitioner. Then opinion of single RMP is required if the period of gestation is less than 12 weeks and opinion of 2 registered medical practitioner is required if it is between 12 and 20 weeks. So, let us do a small summary of what we have studied today. So, medical termination of pregnancy, there is an act to govern it and it was passed in the year 1971 and it was legalized in the year 1972 and it was amended in the year or revised in the year 1975 and it will address a very important public health priority issue. Now, you require this MTP Act which has following aims: reduces the MMR, legalizes the abortions and promotes the safe abortion access, and it decriminalizes the abortion seeker and it offers protection to medical practitioners who would be otherwise penalized. As I told you, it has Act, rules and regulation. Where and what is the role of state and central government? Rules will tell you who can do it, when can it be done, and where can it be done, and regulations will tell you, regulations will help you in maintenance of records and custody of forms and reporting of cases. Lastly, we explained when do you call abortions as legal? Only when you do it as prescribed by the MTP Act, like who can do it, when it can be done, and where to be done. Lastly, we told when can the pregnancies be terminated? Up to 20 weeks of gestation, and if the gestation is less than 12 weeks, one medical practitioner is sufficient. If it is more than 12 weeks but less than 20 weeks, opinion of 2 registered medical practitioners as accepted by the MTP Act is required, and we should always take the consent of the women to terminate the pregnancy. And if in case the woman is less than 18 years or if she is mentally ill, then you can take the consent of the guardian. So in the next class, we will continue. What are the indications of MTP, and what is the punishment given under MTP Act if you do not follow the rules. Thank you.